Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Say Yes to the Deck. Okay, so if you are new to this series, this is basically a series where I bring you along with me while I try to sort out which deck that is currently sitting on my wish list I am going to take the plunge on and actually purchase and bring home. So I have a short list of decks I've already kind of narrowed down off of my larger wish list down to a handful that I'm willing to look at this month that I really want to think about picking up. And this is always tough for me. And I will point out sometimes I will pick one thing and then later on I'll end up either getting or picking up the other thing. That definitely happens. But for the most part, I find that once I sort of eliminate decks off of this list, they tend to kind of stay eliminated, which is a great way to take a wish list of like, I don't know, 20 or 30 decks I might want and get it really narrowed down. So I try to be really careful and selective in this part of my purchasing process, I guess you could say. And while I don't bring you guys along with me for every single purchasing decision, because let's be honest, sometimes I'm a little more impulsive than this. But when I'm not being impulsive, when I actually take the time to sit and like kind of review what it is that I want and like, you know, that kind of thing, this is what that process looks like. So this is kind of a three-parter, and if you've watched these before, you're familiar with the format, but just in case, I like to first start out by looking at images online. So I will bring you guys along with me. I'll share the images I'm looking at and kind of my impressions, kind of remind myself why these are on my wish list in the first place. And I'll sometimes eliminate a couple of decks just in, my nose is itchy, just in this part of the process, I may eliminate a couple of decks. And then when I've got it narrowed down a little bit, then I like to pull out decks from my own collection that I feel like might be similar in feeling, or I feel might be in a similar niche in my collection as the deck that I'm looking at, and see if I can find things that are similar that sort of scratch that itch. And this is a great thing to do in your own collection. If you're somebody who wants to be kind of selective about what you bring in, but you also enjoy having a variety of decks, it can get really easy to get caught up in like the purchasing hype, in the fear of missing out, in wanting to like just buy everything you see because there's so much variety out there. So this is a really great way to sort of check yourself, right? First, ask yourself, what is it that I currently have that gives me the same feeling or that I can enjoy in the same way as this deck that I happen to be looking at on the internet or whatever? And so I always like to run myself through that process. And I sometimes find when I take decks out of my collection and actually put them on the table and look at them while I'm thinking of this deck I want to buy, sometimes it gets really easy to eliminate decks doing that too. Because it's like, well, I don't need that because I have this. And it's a really helpful thing if you're trying to cull your spending or you want to be more mindful about what you're spending money on as far as decks. So again, I like to bring you guys along with this so you can see what that process looks like. And finally, once I've got it narrowed down, hopefully a little further still from looking at things in my own collection, I'll usually take the last couple of contenders and I'll run it by Peggy. And so I like to bring you guys along with that process. That part's more for fun because let's be honest, if I ran every purchasing decision by Peggy, I wouldn't have half of what I have. So because she's totally my voice of reason and also the voice of don't spend any money, which you'll always see because that's usually her first thing. It's like, no, you don't need that, or no, don't spend the money on that, which is kind of funny. But I hope you guys can relate to this, and I hope that this series helps you to also be more mindful of your own decisions if that's something that you want to do. So anyways, with that said, let's talk about the candidates I have on my list right now. So firstly, I cannot remember who suggested this deck to me, but I have been thinking about it on and off ever since. This is the Fournier, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Tarot de Marseille. And this actually came about because I have talked over and over again about how I really enjoy the shading and the coloring in my Marseille cat tarot, but I'm not necessarily specifically fond of the cats in that deck because I'm not necessarily a cat person. On the other hand, that deck has grown on me a bit, so there's that. But this has a similar sort of coloring and similar kind of shading and style to the Marseille Cat Tarot, although it's not cat people, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to try to, I wonder if I can do this better. There we go. So you can kind of see there's like gradient of color, there's shading. I do like the backings of this deck. Here's an example of the Magician. I actually really enjoy when artwork has this kind of like shading quality. I don't know how else to describe it, but there's depth. It's not perfectly flat. And that's just something I typically tend to enjoy. I have been thinking about this one for a long time. I keep not taking the plunge. I think I need to maybe watch a walkthrough of it again. I do like the sort of muted tones. It's not quite so glaringly like, I don't know, red blue, which is something that, I mean, although you see lots of red blue here, I don't know. I think I still want to think about this. I don't think I'm ready to eliminate it just looking at images, because I don't really have, other than the tarot, the Marseille Cat Tarot, which hardly qualifies as a traditional Marseille deck, and my Tarot de Maria Celia, those are really the only ones that sort of fit that sort of traditional coloration kind of niche. This would be probably the most traditional in look and feel to any of the other Marseille decks that I have in my collection, and I've always wanted just one, and I kind of tend to use my Marseille Cat Tarot as my study deck, so to speak, but then some of the cards, like the Death card, which if I remember, I will pop a version of that card up on the screen for you. It's super adorable. Some of the cards do go their own way, and I think that's great about it, but it also means I don't have a really classic, just traditional looking Marseille, and I think this Fournier one kind of fits the bill in that way, I guess. So this is what I'm definitely thinking about still. I may need to just really look at my Marseille Cat Tarot to get a better feel. So that's that one. Bruno has just come up to cuddle me, and it's very distracting. All right, so let's take a look at what else I have on my list here. So, okay, here's another one that I can't remember where or how I found out about it, but I've been looking at it off and on. This is the Painted Tarot. I haven't actually seen a lot of videos talking about this deck, but it's got a really cool aesthetic. I'm going to just zoom in on some of the photos here. So here's the Queen of Coins. I also, can I just say for a second, really love the backings of this card, which literally looks like paint splatters all over like a work surface or like a floor or something. I just think that looks really cool and like messy and beautiful. This one really, really intrigues me. I love the sort of messy painted quality of it. I do kind of feel like there's a chance that this deck might look prettier. What I was going to say before I just interrupted myself with sneezes is I kind of feel like I'm petting my dog, in case you see my hand moving over here. He's just like snuggled. I kind of feel like this art might look better like kind of at a bit of a distance. Like it's really pretty when I see it on the computer screen, but the closer in that I get, it's got that kind of messy, blurry, painted quality, which is actually really cool. But I wonder if that would bug me up close. Like I really like looking at it on the computer, you know what I mean? Like which card is this? It's the King of Wands. It's got a really funky, fun, cool, I don't think I'm ready to eliminate it, you know, off my list. Look at the Empress. I mean, there's definitely, oh, I left it. Go back in. I want to go back in. I want to look at the other images here. This must be like a Knight of Cups. Yeah, Knight of Cups. It's so pretty and special. There's not a lot of decks with this kind of vibe to me out on the market right now. And so this really intrigues me. I don't think I'm ready to eliminate it yet. I'm not doing very good here because I don't really have that many on the list. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Okay. Oh gosh, am I going to be able to? Okay, sorry, let me just pick one here. Okay, we're going to look at this one. So the Oceanic Wild Oracle by Boho and Indy Wild. Okay, so I have been told about this deck from multiple people, and I am such an ocean person. I keep looking at it, and I probably shouldn't, because the reality is that I don't know. There's something about, can I get the pictures bigger? Hold on. There we go. Okay. This is by Tiffany Sosa. Like it's got such a fun feel, right? Like here is a card that says awareness. It's like mermaids and like it's oceany and it's kind of feminine and pretty, and I like the color tones. Look at these mermaids with their mermaid hair. Like, you know, they're nostalgia. It's really cute. I do wonder if I would use it though, because I just picked up a different ocean themed oracle deck. So I think when I originally added this to my list, I was more thinking this would be really good to pair with like the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot or any of my other sort of ocean themed kind of things. I keep saying any of my other, although I think I only have, oh, I also have the mermaid, what's it called? The Tarot Sirene by the Wandering Oracle, the little Mermaid Marseille deck. So I guess originally I was thinking of maybe pairing it with one of those, but I think because I have Whispers of the Ocean Oracle deck, which I think when this video comes up, I will have just put my walkthrough up of that deck. I think I can actually safely X this off my list because as cute as this is, I pulled it out actually so that I could show. I'll just show you here because I don't think I'll show this in the top down part, but I have that Whispers of the Ocean Oracle, but I also have this Messages from the Mermaid deck. I don't know if you've, like, I've talked about this one before too. Hopefully there's no glare. Let me just pull in the cards here real quick. So I have mermaids kind of covered, right? So like, I feel like I don't need necessarily a mermaid deck, and this is my favorite mermaid oracle deck. It's so diverse and beautiful and vibrant, and I just love it. So I don't really need it for the mermaids, and I don't need it for the sea life because I have that Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. So I feel like I think I can cross this one off the list. So I'm going to X that one out. Okay. See, we've knocked one down. That's not bad. Okay. So let's take a look next at the Moon Void Tarot 3rd edition. So I think, previously anti-hauled the prior version of the Moon Void Tarot, but when I did a shout out, I actually asked you guys in my community tab if you had any decks to suggest that I should consider adding to my list. And this was one that really stood out to me as one I should take another look at because the Moon Void Tarot is currently on Kickstarter for its 3rd edition, and it's been changed a little bit. There's a pop of pink through the cards now, which is kind of delightful, I'm not gonna lie, but this was actually suggested, I think, by a couple people, but the person's suggestion who I saw in the comments was He Loves You Rach 123, I think it was. So credit to He Loves You Rach, but I felt like I needed to take another look at this. The interesting thing about the Moon Void Tarot is it follows the same primary sort of protagonist or heroine, I guess you could say, through the entire tarot deck. So you kind of see this one character interacting with the different archetypes of the tarot, which I think is really, really cool and certainly is appealing to me to kind of see this like one person or one character going through the tarot like on their journey. I think I might have a deck. I've got a deck in mind that I think will possibly scratch the same itch, but I think I want to think about this one a little bit longer. So am I really only sitting at having eliminated one so far? Yes, that's where we're sitting, people. That's where we're sitting. But the Moon Void Tarot, it's really cute. Look at the sketchy quality to it. I don't know. I do really like it. The pink is definitely pushing me over that edge of like, no, I'm okay with a no, to like, ooh, I'm really thinking about it. It is really cute. Although I have to admit, Julie Peekaboo Roses is where I first found out about this deck, and she added pops of color by hand to her black and white original version, which I think was the 2nd edition, and that's the version that I like. But I don't know that I would work with it. I think that's the thing. Will I work with it? I think I need to ask myself that question more specifically when I compare it against something else in my collection and kind of see where I land. But I don't think I'm quite ready to cross it off the list just yet. All right, so that leaves us with 2 more to look at. So let's take a look at the I'm not going to try to pronounce this correctly, but I'm going to try to pronounce it. Les Metamorphoses du jour. We're going to go with that. Tarot. So here's the funny thing about this. So this is by Taroko Studio, who is the same publisher or creator of the Revival Art Tarot, which I absolutely think is beautiful and very well made and well done. So this is their version of the deck based on the artwork by J.J. Granville, and this intrigues me for a couple of reasons. So I was really thinking about whether or not I really needed to keep the Fantastic Menagerie deck by Baba Studios on my wish list. And I keep talking myself out of it because the Baba Studios version of the artwork for this deck it's really beautifully done. It's got a lot of cold foil stamping, which Baba Studios is known for, but it's also incredibly expensive. And it's not a deck that I think I would reach for a ton. But I love the artwork in general. I just don't know that I would work with it that much. And then I watched somebody, and if I can find that video, I will link it in the description box down below. But I found somebody who had done a side-by-side comparison of this deck, the La Metamorphoses du jour, with the Baba Studios deck. And they're different enough that if you're really into J.J. Granville's artwork, I think you would probably enjoy having both decks. But it was their differences that really caught my attention, because in certain cards where I wasn't really seeing, I didn't really like maybe the choice of card that Baba Studios had for their version of that card, in every case, it seems like I much preferred the artwork that was depicted for that card in this version, in this Metamorphoses du jour. I wish I could have some examples close at hand, but I don't. Let me see if I can open these up bigger so we can actually see the images. So J.J. Grenville, it's this storybook style art. And I think in a couple places, actually, this creator and the creators at Baba Studios had made similar choices, but the artwork was a little more pulled out, I found. In the Taroko Studios ones, it's like your perspective was further back in the image, so you could see more of the original image. Whereas with the Baba Studios, a lot of them were smaller parts of an image that you were kind of closer to. And that was really cool. But I really found that I enjoyed the slightly softer color palette of this one. And I liked the way that the choices that they made. And the funny thing about that is that actually this one has like bigger, more obnoxious borders. There's none of that beautiful cold foil stamping. But also, it's much more affordable. At $62, I believe that's US, and free shipping, that's more affordable to me than the Baba Studios version. And part of me is like, if I'm attracted to this artwork and I think I'm going to enjoy playing with it, but I'm not like freaking out over the moon and super excited about it, I would rather pay a slightly lower price, particularly when I liked side by side, I liked the art choices in this one better. I feel like I'm just showing you words and not showing you pictures. I gotta get better about that. But anyways, let's do it this way. Oh yeah, it would let us. Okay. So the Four of Coins, I love this rooster guy with the money at his feet. I freaking love him. I think he might be the same. Oh, I forgot to look at the backings. Those are kind of funny. I think I almost always would prefer a Baba Studios backing, to be honest, because their backings tend to be really beautiful. But let's take a look at like this one. So here we have the Chariot. See, and the Lovers. I felt like when I saw them side by side, this Strength card, there's just this fun storybook quality to this artwork. But I think when I saw them, oh, here we go. That's right. I knew I could see more images. So here we have the Fool, the Magician. I felt like I really immediately saw the image in all of these, whereas I didn't necessarily in the Baba Studios version. The Empress, the Emperor. These are so good. The Hermit. And there was a couple in the Baba Studios version where I just didn't see the image as quickly or as readily as I did here. Like, look at the Justice card, how you have this like whole trial situation happening. And you can totally tell stories about this, right? There just feels like there's more happening, maybe more action in the cards in a way. I don't know. There's just something about it. And I think it was the Minors where I had the biggest like, oh, I like this so much better. Yeah, there was just, yeah, I really like this one. I really like this one. And I think I really like the softer color, which I would not have expected. I usually love the vivid pops of color and the way that Baba Studios retouches the artwork and adds the cold foil stamping. I love that so much that the fact that I like this one better really surprised me. But this got me into a place where I was like, I really think I might want this deck. So this is still pretty firmly on my list. I think the issue with this is I don't have any other decks like this. And I've had a bit of hit or miss experience with fairy tale type decks. And this has kind of got that fairy tale feel without being about any specific fairy tales. So I feel like I also get some of that loveliness in there as well. Let's just take a quick glance at the cups. If I can. Where are the cups? Are these the cups? Here's the cups. Okay, look at this 8 of Cups. Like, that is perfection. So is the 3 of Cups. So is the 2 of Cups. So is the 7 of Cups. I feel like, and some of these are not always easy to find artwork that matches. The court cards are really beautifully done. The perspectives kind of stays the same throughout the entire deck. I feel like I stay kind of at the same distance from the scenes. I love this, though. I really like this. Definitely not eliminating it from my list. That's what, I've got to think of something kind of similar in my collection. I'll have to think about that before I do the top-down portion. Wish me luck. All right, so that leaves us just one more deck. Now, this one I just discovered, and I think I was actually looking for one of these other ones to pull up the link when I found it, so it's really recent to my awareness. But it's super pretty, and I haven't heard anybody talking about it. It literally looks super beautiful. This is called the Moonlight Tarot. It's on Etsy. It is a pretty penny. It's $70 for the deck, Canadian, that is. $82.75 if I get it with a wooden box, or $70 with the velvet bag. And you can't go no bag, so let's just take a look at this artwork. This is really dark and like kind of witchy and beautiful, but you know what really strikes my attention, or strikes my fancy, I guess, about this deck is its perspective, its shape. So it's a little bit taller and skinnier than a standard tarot card. You can tell that. And I think the measurements are even on the listing. And I love that idea, quite honestly. I am actually immediately a little bit, I was about to just start gushing about this deck, but there's something I just noticed that I'm not as fond of right off the bat. And that is that the Ace of Pentacles, and I hadn't noticed this before this moment, the Ace of Pentacles is, the pentacle is actually pointed down, which is really interesting because typically that is not what we see except in the Devil card. And that is actually a real turnoff for me because I have some associations with a reversed pentacle. It means something kind of based on my experience and like chitter chatter, I guess you could say, over the years within pagan community and stuff like that. There was always a lot about like showing the pentagram upright because that's its positive representation. That seeing it upside down like this in the Ace of Pentacles is possibly a deal breaker before I've even finished showing you the images. I really don't like that that was reversed. That really bugged me. So I think, I mean, a lot of these are really clever. There's like animals in them. The border is really gorgeous. It looks like it's on decent cardstock as well. And like, look at this. Look at how like that tall, skinny kind of profile. And then it's in this box with this like etched plastic, I'm guessing, or etched acrylic kind of lid on it that slides out. Like it's definitely a whole aesthetic mood for sure. It looks really pretty. And like I said, I had never heard of it. I can't remember how I encountered it. I saw some reference to it and I searched it or something and I was like, what's the Moonlight Tarot? And this is the Moonlight Tarot. It's very pretty. Again, but that is, I think that's a deal breaker. And I didn't think this was one I was going to be able to eliminate, but I think I can because that bugs me. And it's such a funny little thing. And it's interesting how sometimes those tiny little details can end up being a real turnoff for a deck just because of your own personal preference, right? So that's a total personal preference thing. But the Ace of Pentacles means something very particular to me about opportunity and potential. And the way that the pentacle is illustrated actually I kind of just noped right out of that. So I think I can eliminate that one as well. So that is it. So we are down to a list of the Moon Void Tarot, the Painted Tarot, the Metamorphoses du jour, and the Fournier, I don't know how you say that, Marseille deck, which is actually still sitting pretty high up on my list because I keep looking at it and just not taking the plunge. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to go sit at my reading table and pull out some decks that I think might scratch the itch for some of these, and we'll see where we end up. Okay, so here we are at my reading table, and I've pulled some decks that may help a little bit. So let's talk first about the Metamorphoses, that one, the J.J. Abrams one. So, and we'll also talk, I think, about the Fournier Marseille, because I'm looking at the Marseille Cat Tarot for both of these. For one reason primarily, and that is that one of the things I'm not fond of as much, although to be honest, it has grown on me, about the Marseille Cat Tarot is the way that it is people's bodies, but like animal heads and hands or paws, I guess you could say. That is something that's not necessarily something I particularly enjoy, but that is just like a necessary something I have to deal with to work with this deck, basically. And that is the point of J.J. Abrams' artwork, is these humanoid figures with cat features, right? Cat heads, cat paws, cat tail. And the J.J. Abrams, it's just lots of different animals, but it's the same kind of idea, right? What I do love about this particular deck is the way that everything is illustrated. I love this illustration style. And I do think that Fournier, I'm so sorry if I keep slaughtering that, Marseille deck definitely has a similar level of detail and color and vibrancy to the artwork, but at the same time, like, I guess the question I think I need to ask myself, where the Marseille deck anyways is concerned, is would I declutter this if I brought in the Fournier Tarot de Marseille? And I think the answer to that question is probably no, because I've bonded with this deck over time and I've gotten comfortable with this deck. And there are a few places where I really love how it's gone differently. Like I mentioned the Death card, which I will definitely have to show you because it's just so fantastic. But this has really grown on me. The biggest sort of drawback to this as a Marseille or traditional Marseille is that there are these little scenes that depict more of a Rider-Waite-Smith meaning on the pips, which is useful if you're going to read a Marseille deck like a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but very unhelpful if you're trying to break away from those meanings and actually, like, here's a great example. Here we have the 8 of coins, and we have this guy like kind of perfecting these shields that he's working on here in the bottom right, which is very Rider-Waite-Smith, but is not necessarily how you would necessarily, I just said necessarily twice, 3 times now, but anyways, it's not how you would always read the Marseille version of the 8 of coins. So it kind of pulls my brain back to that RWS place when I'm working with this deck. Could be a benefit for some, but it's a drawback for me when I'm trying to really focus on Marseille. That said, it is the only like real Marseille Tarot hybrid I think that I have, so there's that. I don't know. But from a Marseille standpoint, I think I'm going to go ahead and hold off on the Fournier Marseille and actually just take that off my list, because I feel like I'm not reaching for Marseille decks a lot right now at the moment anyways, and I would love to have a peoply version of a deck like this, which the Fournier Tarot basically is, but it's definitely not something that has any urgency around it. Like, I don't feel like I need to do that right now, and there are other Marseille decks I have and play with. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it for now. But let's talk again about the Metamorphoses du jour, because this is the closest thing, I guess, to that I have in my collection, as far as like the art style being like animal heads on people bodies, I guess you could say. And it obviously wasn't enough of, it was definitely something that I thought I didn't like, but I keep reaching for this deck and I keep using this deck when I want to work with Marseille. So like, obviously it doesn't bug me that much. So that doesn't really help talk me out of the Metamorphoses du jour at all. But I do think I've eliminated the Fournier, Marseille, whatever. Okay, so that brings us to this deck, which I also brought to talk about the Metamorphoses du jour, and that is my Baba Studios Mythical Creatures Tarot. I don't know why I pulled this. I think I just wanted to remind myself how beautiful Baba Studios decks really, really are. The way that they catch the light and all of that. But I do think sometimes they feel a little bit precious, which is, I think, another reason why I sort of prefer the Metamorphoses du jour over the Fantastical Menagerie, because I just feel like, as beautiful as these decks are, I sometimes, like I said, I can be a little precious about them, and they can also sometimes feel a little bit oddly distant, and I don't know if that's just because they feel so fancy and like beautiful, or like what the situation is with that, but I feel like sometimes I hesitate to reach for these when I would otherwise want to reach for them. This has got a similar kind of quality to it as far as what I would expect from the Baba Studios Fantastic Menagerie, but it is in a theme that I'm really excited about, because it's my only Baba Studios Marseille deck. Obviously, it's the only one they've ever done, to the best of my knowledge. It's got the most beautiful backings, and it's all based on mythical creatures, which I super love, and it definitely scratches the itch. Every time I've thought about getting the Fantastical Menagerie specifically from Baba Studios, this has definitely scratched the itch for that. It's just a beautiful quality and a beautiful deck, and I appreciate it. And I think if I had too many Baba Studios decks, I don't know if I'd appreciate the ones that I have quite as much. So I'm kind of glad that I'm not picking up Fantastic Menagerie, which of course wasn't even part of this video, but it's related, right? It's kind of loosely related. But I do think that even after looking at this and after my Marseille Cat Tarot, I definitely can't eliminate the Metamorphoses du jour. And it's right in my price range. This is something else I wanted to kind of mention. That Taroko Studios is right in my price range. And since I have purchased a different Taroko Studios deck, which reminds me, I should grab my Revival Art Tarot, because I think it's relevant to the discussion of the Metamorphoses du jour. So the Revival Art Tarot, just from a quality standpoint, is a deck that I really enjoyed touching and working with and playing with. It's got this beautiful, like, buttery smooth matte lamination. There is a bow to my deck, but man, did they ever do a beautiful job on this Revival Art Tarot. And I think that's the other thing, is I know that what they produce is really beautiful quality, and knowing that, it's like easier for me to go, you know, it's going to be beautiful quality. It's probably going to feel just as luxurious to me as like a Baba Studios deck, but it's much more in my price range than the Baba Studios is at this point, because the Baba Studios, by the time I get the book, which I would want to get if I got the Baba Studios Fantastic Menagerie, and by the time I get the deck, I'd probably be in for about 150 Canadian, and the Metamorphoses du jour is like half that for me. So I feel like it's much more doable. But gosh, this deck is so pretty, and I really like Taroko Studio stuff. It's also worth mentioning that because I've purchased from them before, I actually have a coupon code for 10% off my next purchase, so I'll also get a discount on that one, which is just another side note. But that one is still very firmly on my list. It's definitely one I'm excited about, and yeah. So let's talk about the Moon Void Tarot, because that one definitely. So this is the closest thing I can think of. And I do think it's actually kind of similar, although totally different art style. This is my Gorgon's Tarot. This is the mini version. It's not really all that mini, as you can see. But this is the smaller version. The deck that you get in the big box from Schiffer Red Feather is gigantic, and I gave that gigantic version of the deck to Peggy because you can get this smaller version of the deck but without the book, and I wanted to keep the book, so I didn't want to like sell or rehome the larger version, but this is the one that's much easier to handle. Anyways, I'm babbling. This is the Gorgon's Tarot, in case I didn't mention that yet. And this very similarly actually gives us a character who we see repeated throughout the deck. This sort of not uber feminine, but kind of female primary character kind of does go through, I guess not the same way as the Moon Void Tarot though. Because the Moon Void Tarot, it's very clearly the same character who's going through the cards, whereas this is definitely different characters. It's just, you do have some of the same animal companions that show up throughout the deck. This also has that black and white color palette. I mean, the Moon Void Tarot has the addition of the pink in the background, which is pretty appealing to me to look at for sure, but like is not something that I feel like I need. But when it comes to like just a black and white deck, I feel like they are kind of having the same conversation with me when I look at them, right? When I look at the Moon Void Tarot, I kind of see somebody on a journey, and it feels like it feels very kind of clean, but I have such a fondness for this particular deck. I really enjoy the textures in the patterns in this deck. It just makes it really fun as a black and white deck to have all of that fun patterning and texturing to create the different kind of tones in the colors. Or in the shading, I guess you could say. And then there's those couple of pops of red in the entire deck, which have so much impact because they don't happen very much. Like in the Devil card, there's only 2 cards that have this pop of red, the Devil and the Gorgon card. And because of that, when this comes up, it's like got a lot of impact, which is really cool, I think. I don't know. I feel like the Moon Void Tarot, I think I can probably cross that off my list. I really think that whenever I think of like a deck with like that kind of limited like black and white feel color palette, I think of the ones that I have and how I'm not often in the mood to work with them because I have such a fondness for color that it's like, I don't know, I just end up always going back to my colorful decks. But so it has to be pretty spectacular and different and unique and special for me to want to reach for a black and white deck or a black, white, and pink deck. So I do think I can cross the Moon Void Tarot off my list, since I do have and enjoy the Gorgon's Tarot. So that just brings us to, so where have we gotten ourselves to? So we've gotten ourselves down to the Metamorphoses du jour and the Painted Tarot. I don't think I can really eliminate the Painted Tarot off my list because I just think it's really unique and different and pretty and colorful and exciting. But I did think there was a deck in my collection that kind of scratches a similar itch, so I wanted to take a peek at it and remind myself. So this is Danny Mystic's Mystic Tarot. You guys know I love this deck. This is 15th century. I always forget what century. 16th and 17th century etchings that Danny added color to. So it's got that kind of messy, colorful, artistic. I'm really bad with my words sometimes. It does have a similar feel, but this is very different because this is softer. This is full scenes. I feel like the Painted Tarot is almost like isolated painted figures and scenes. So it's different, right? It's very different. I don't think I have anything like the Painted Tarot really in my collection. And I like that messy painted look. And gosh, I really love the backings of that deck, the Painted Tarot. This is just a really beautiful deck. And I feel like, I wonder if I had both, if I would reach for both equally. I mean, this deck will never go anywhere. It's got such a special place in my heart. And it's also my primary working deck when it comes to doing magical work with tarot. This is the one that I work with. There's just a lot of potency in these images and in the energy that Danny imbued in this deck when she created it, that this is like the one that I reach for when I want to do magical work and involve tarot. So nothing will ever take the place of this. So I don't really feel like it's competing with the Painted Tarot, if that makes any sense. So I feel like the Painted Tarot can definitely remain on my list. So that means I'm down to 2, and I'm still kind of hemming and hawing a little bit on the Fournier. I know I said I eliminated it, but I'm still kind of thinking about it. So, I mean, it's probably eliminated. I think I need to talk to Peggy about the Marseille one, the Metamorphoses du jour, and the painted tarot and kind of get her feedback and see what she has to say. It's say yes to the deck time.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay.
So you're spending money.
Yeah.
How many monies?
As many as you'll give me off your credit card.
What?
So
How come I'm buying you a deck?
Peggy's buying me a deck this month.
Oh, so you have a $10 limit.
No.
$5 limit.
No.
No. Why am I... Look at Bruno. Is like, no, don't fight. Let's just distract you two. What? Hi, Bruno.
What's the question?
Hi, you little scene stealer. Why am I buying you a deck?
Because you love me and appreciate me. And all I bring to your life.
Okay, so why am I buying you a deck?
Because you love me and appreciate me and all I bring to your life.
This is going to be a circle.
Yeah.
It's just going to go round
Yeah.
and round and round.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have my own budget. We're fine.
Oh, so I'm not buying you a deck.
I mean, I might still use your credit card, but I do have my own budget, technically.
Why? Okay. So is it gift-giving time?
Yeah. What was the recent holiday? It was just Easter recently.
Just Easter recently. Mother's Day is coming up.
In May.
Yeah, but I think we're still going to be in lockdown by May.
That's probably true. Okay, so let's focus for a second. So there's 2 decks I'm narrowed down to.
Yes.
You ready for this?
I don't know how we're going to focus. He can't cope with
You just keep petting him, and that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so there's 2 decks I'm looking
I
at.
feel like Dr. Evil petting the cat. $1 million. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't do that very well.
No,
but
it's
that's
okay.
At least I tried.
Okay, are we going to be able to focus?
Probably not.
Hi, buddy.
Pie.
Literally, he's just like me. Pay attention to me.
Because you're sitting beside me on this couch. He does
Yeah.
not like sharing this couch with you.
So okay, there's 2
Okay.
there's 2 decks.
Okay.
On the chopping block? No, on the to be purchased considered
chop it,
list.
yeah.
Okay. What? Did you say you could
No.
chop my deck? No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Hi. Okay.
He's going to be a distraction. He's going to be the big distraction.
Okay, so the first deck is the Fournier, Fournier. How do I? Fournier? Is that how you say that? Okay. It seems French. Anyways, I don't think it's French. It might be.
If it's not French, it's probably Fournier. Fournier?
See, this is what I was doing.
Yeah, I would just assume it was French and go Fournier.
Fournier. Okay, so I think that's what I was saying. Anyways, it's a Tarot de Marseille deck. It's got very similar coloration to my Marseille Cat Tarot, so it's very
Okay.
You're already yawning every time. Every time I go to do say yes to the deck, you immediately start yawning.
I don't know why I yawn when I should just be cowering in fear because apparently you're using my side card.
Anyways, these decks are going to both be.
What's that all about, you big
Hello.
bum?
Oh, I think you're banging his head against the microphone. Hi, buddy.
No, he banged his head against the microphone.
Okay, focus. I say that every month, or every time I do one of
I
these.
can put him down if you'd like. He'll come right back,
he's
but I
so
can put him down.
cute. Hi, buddy. Okay.
There's no point in putting him down. He'll
No.
come right. Then you'll start crying.
It's true. Okay, so it's a Marseille deck. Oh my god. This is why we never stop petting him. It's a Marseille deck. It's very traditional, but the coloring and the shading is very similar to my Marseille Cat Tarot. Okay. And the reason that excites me is because my Marseille... Was that one on purpose?
No.
Wow.
No, it's not.
Anyways, the reason I'm excited is because it's very similar in coloring to my Marseille Cat, which I really love the coloring and shading in that deck, but it's not cats. It's like a regular Marseille deck. Mm-hmm. Bruno.
Okay.
Okay. The other one is called it's another French thing. La Metamorphoses du jour. Metamorphosis du jour.
Metamorphosis. Sounds like what a butterfly does.
Yeah.
Du jours of the day.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks. So Metamorphosis of the day. Okay. Anyways, are you familiar with the artwork?
Daily transformation.
Oh, there you go.
It's probably the best.
Maybe. Okay. So.
Metamorphosis is a transformation du jour. So I would say the transformation of the day, the daily transformations.
He did the storybook art where there's like these like almost Victorian looking creatures, and they've got animal heads and stuff. So there's like
anamorphic.
Yeah, anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic. Yeah.
You can't say anything. Anyways, but it's
not even gonna try.
It's very like children's storybook style kind of artwork, but like old fashioned, like what you might see. I don't know. It reminds me of what you might see in like Grimm's fairy tales, but like it's all these like fantastical creatures, but they're very much dressed like finely dressed Victorian people.
Okay. I think I've seen some of that.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Baba Studios just recently put out a deck, and it was a reprint. I think they'd put it out before. Called I have a hair in my mouth now. Called the
Wait, how many decks are we looking
Two.
at today?
2, but this is relevant.
Wow, okay.
So Papez Studios has the Fantastic Menagerie deck, which is the same artwork, the same artist, and they've selected their own pieces from his deck to create a deck, right?
Right, okay.
Or from his artwork
Puppy, what
collection
are
to
you
create it. You need
doing?
to focus. Just don't, you can pet him. You don't have to talk to him. Pet him, talk to me. You can do it. It's multitasking. I believe in you. Okay.
Hi.
Papez Studios put out a deck called the Fantastic Menagerie.
Mm-hmm.
Really beautiful, really expensive, same artist.
Oh, really expensive. Yeah, you don't want that one. Okay, you said it was expensive,
wait.
so that's an easy
Hold on.
Hi, monkey.
Okay, so basically it'd be like this. Papez Studios and another deck creator both create essentially the same deck using the same artist's work. Now, here's what's interesting.
Cheaper is
I
better.
kind of wanted the
Cheaper is
Fantastic...
better.
Okay, hold on.
But cheaper is better.
I kind of wanted the Fantastic Menagerie deck, right?
Okay.
But it would have cost around $150 Canadian by the time I got it
But you
home.
know, if this work is out of copyright, just go on and make playing cards and make your own, and it's a lot cheaper.
No, that's a lot of work.
That's not my problem. I won't be paying for that.
Okay, hold on. Can you please focus?
I'm focusing right now. If you do the work yourself, you can save me a lot of money.
Why do I do this to myself every time? Okay. Just stay with me long enough to get the point out, okay?
Bubby, hi. Stop being such a dog.
Hi. Okay.
Oh, wow. Wow, this is getting serious.
Okay.
How many okays was it? Oh, there's another one.
Jesus Christ.
How many okays was that?
Okay, if anybody's watching, count the okays. Drop it in the comments below.
Oh, yeah, I want to know. Can you start a sentence without okay?
Yes. So, there are 2 decks.
Okay.
There's 3 decks. The
my
Papez
eyes are
Studios.
watering.
I know mine too. The Papez Studios deck. Here's what happened. I came across a walkthrough.
So,
Wait. No, it's taking me a long time to get here. You just got to listen to this part. I stumbled upon a walkthrough where somebody was showing the Papez Studios version of this deck, of this artwork into a tarot deck next to the other one, the one I'm looking at, which is the Metamorphoses du jour. What excited me is that when you put both side by side, each creator made slightly different choices. Like this creator used this artwork, right?
I look like I'm just like...
It's the dog. Okay.
I know, he's down here in my lap.
I really need you to pay attention to this part. So they put them both side by side, and
I'm going to start every sentence.
Hold on. They put them side by side, and I found that I far preferred the non-Papez Studios version just because of the artwork they chose. Like if you were choosing from a book of art, and you and I were both creating a deck, you would probably choose this image to represent the Ten of Swords, and I'd choose that image to...
Yeah, because it's all relative.
Yeah, so it was like that. So I just happened to prefer the choices of the cheaper deck of the 2.
Oh, that happens to work out in my favor. I happen to like that.
So I've narrowed it down to that one, and then this Marseille deck. So now I'm really just trying to choose between the Metamorphoses du jour, which is very storybook feel. I think it's probably one that I would use more than the Marseille
whole
deck.
Anamorphic or
Yeah,
anthropomorphic? Oh my god, that's why they just say anamorphic these days. Anyway, is the whole deck like that?
Yeah, it's all this guy's art, and all of his art is like that. So
do you like that kind of art? Because I thought you weren't necessarily a hugely, insanely fan.
I'd have to show it to you, but it's this specific version of that kind of art.
No, I know what kind of art you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's very soft colors, very storybook, very like kind of like it was made with colored pencil. It's like that kind of a look.
Oh, okay.
It's not the like digital, like more new kind of that kind of artwork. You know what I mean? So it's got this very sort of timeless feel. Also, and this is something I just realized now, and I feel like I thought about this earlier, but forgot to mention it. Danny's new Oracle deck, the Pear Tree Oracle, is all basically Victorian fashion plates. And it would work really well next to the Metamorphoses du jour. I just realized. So that would be a really good pairing.
Basically you already have a pairing that you can... The Tarot de Marseille...
Yeah, so it's called the Fournier Tarot de Marseille.
But you've already got Tarot de Marseille.
I do have a few, and I don't read with Marseille a lot. So that's the thing.
Well,
I'm like,
okay. I'm not going to be anybody's favorite person when I say that when you have the RWS and the Tarot de Marseille, when you have those decks and you're sticking to that, they get very, very samey very, very quickly.
Agreed. Yeah, I do agree. Yeah. So RWS clones and Marseille clones and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so much variety I really want.
So for me, I'm going like, okay, so you're going to look at, you're gonna have X number of these decks to choose from. Is one going to look or feel more exciting than the other when they're already so similar to begin with? Because I know you're a sucker for the artwork.
I'm totally a sucker for the artwork. I think that is a big tipping point. I think the only real selling point for me for the Fournier...
Which one's cheaper? Why I skipped that.
I think they're about the same price. Probably the Marseille deck's a bit cheaper because I'm getting it on Amazon, but it's like, I think it's like almost $50. And I think the Metamorphoses du jour, I think it's around 60 or 70 US.
And are you budgeted? Well, I'm budgeted for this. Yeah. Okay.
I love you.
No, I feel like I'm about to be just a little bit poorer. You haven't convinced me to buy you a deck for a while now.
Okay, so I haven't been entirely fair about the Marseille deck because the one thing that was making that a bit of a selling point for me.
Well, come here.
Was that I don't have a Marseille deck that's very like classic without a lot of embellishment. Like I have the Marseille Cat Tarot, which has cats. I have the Tarot des Sirènes, which is mermaids. I have the
artistically unique
creative
decks.
ones, but I don't have any that are like really super classic. So that is a selling point for that. But I have to admit, of the two, I think I'm more excited about.
But if you're looking at something that's more classic, then you can probably find 30 different ones at better price points.
Yeah, but this one has a particular shading like one that I already like, which is why it's like the Marseille Cat Tarot, but without cats. Well, the Marseille one, I feel like that's the other thing I noticed when I was top down and I was talking about it is I feel like I could get, Bruno's growling at us. I feel like I could get either, I feel like I could get the Marseille one anytime.
Yeah, the Marseille, you can get that anytime because even if you can't get that one, you can almost, it's a fairly safe bet that even if you can't get that one, you can find a similar one.
That's true. We have the doggos in the back seat.
Well, we had the doggos on our lap, and then they decided that we run the house and we want out.
Yep. So now they're back there. We're just leaving our building. We're gonna go get coffee, take them for a bit of a little trip out of doors so that maybe they will,
well, depending on how you edit it, you're gonna be able to hear Bruno going.
He was growling at us. I'm pretty sure that'll be audible. We'll see. I'll have to listen to the audio before I know for sure, but he was growling at us.
He decided he'd had enough of cuddling and it's time for a walk, which he's already had.
Yep.
And we've decided that since the dogs are going to do this to us, we're going to go get some coffee because,
All right. Where did we end up?
So the anthropomorphic deck has some exciting things about it that matches the kind of art style that you like in the first place.
That's true.
Marseille is... I really do appreciate that there are people who like Marseille decks and RWS decks, but they get very samey for me very quickly.
True.
So I have a hard time being able to say to you that you should buy a Marseille deck unless there's something unique or original about the art that's being put in the deck.
I think that's the thing for me too. Like I'm really attracted to among Marseille. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and this particular deck though it's got a different color palette, you said?
It's the same color palette as like a Conver Marseille or like one of the more traditional Marseille.
Right.
But it's got the shading and like the depth of the artwork to it, like the Marseille Cat Tarot. Remember I was showing you that one?
Yeah.
So it's got a similar art style, which is much more appealing to me than the very flat looking Marseille art that you often see. But
I can see you just picking that one up on a whim to go, oh, hey, this happened and I've got an extra $50-$60 kicking around for whatever reason.
Yeah, that would make a pretty decent like impulse buy.
Yeah,
because it would
hey, honey, it's Mother's Day next week. How about you buy me this deck?
Yeah.
I can see you wanting the deck, but I can't.
It doesn't really feel like a special occasion deck, if that makes any sense. Like, it doesn't feel like one that's like, oh, I really want you to buy me this one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I know you would like it, and I know that you really appreciate the symbolism of the decks.
Yeah.
But you've got similar...
I think I'd be more excited to receive the Metamorphoses du jour. I think getting that one in and being able to do a flip through of it, that really excites me in a way that I think a classic Marseille doesn't. But I still use and love Marseille. It's just, I feel like it's got less of that excitement, factor to it, I guess. Or, I think it's because with Marseille, you can pick up any Marseille deck and just start reading with it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas... Okay, I can do the same thing with any tarot deck.
Well, but you enjoy the learning curve of figuring out a new deck.
And I love the variety and the artwork and
And you've got 20 plus years in on the learning curve with the Marseille and the RWS decks.
Yeah.
So you'll appreciate them, but you won't be able to deep dive this. You'll be able to deep dive, but you're not.
Well, you can't really deep dive on a Marseille deck.
Discover anything new.
No, that's 1,000% true. I think that's the one.
That sounds like it's the one. You're still gonna. Have you done your walkthrough? Have you?
And I have a coupon.
Oh, saving more.
10% off.
All right, so it's cheaper. So I can get behind that deck.
I mean, it's still technically
I can get behind
not
a less
cheaper
expensive deck.
It's not cheaper than the Marseille, but it's cheaper than itself because I have a coupon.
Yeah.
Decisions made.
Decisions made.
And I can use your credit card?
We'll talk.
I want this on recording.
Oh, you want this on recording. You want this What's the
tea?
occasion? Is this like your special Easter deck or something?
Yeah, let's go with that.
It's an early Mother's Day. It's the early Mother's Day.
I like late Easter versus I like late Easter versus early Mother's Day because then I've still got Mother's Day open to cash in for something else.
Oh,
see what I'm doing there?
You're a little mercenary about this shit.
I'm a lot mercenary about this.
Yeah, you are mercenary about this stuff. You're scaring me. Okay, yeah, you can put it on my credit card.
Yeah, okay.
I'll pay for it.
Cool. All right, decision made. Easy to press buy on that now. Thanks, babe.
Wait, did I just agree to the more expensive deck?
Yes, love you.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god.
We will. I'll be ordering that, and I will.
But you have a coupon, right?
I have a coupon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still more though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even with the coupon.
Even with the coupon.
So about that Marseille deck, bet you'd really enjoy that deck.
Decision made. Bye. All right, you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for Say Yes to the Deck. Thank you, as always, to Peggy for not only buying me this times deck, but this episode's deck, this month's deck. I don't know. Yeah, I can't say this month's deck because I haven't done one of these in a couple months. So I feel weird saying this month.
Yeah.
I only do this about every couple months, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So thanks to Peggy for buying it for me and for being the voice of reason. And helping me pick the best and more expensive deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't feel, well, okay. If I have to spend money to buy you something, because God, that's scary. But anyway, if I'm gonna spend money to buy something, I want to buy the thing that you're gonna get the most use out of, the most traction out of.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
We did good. All right, so the Metamorphoses du jour tarot by Taroko Studios, that is the one I'm going to buy. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Don't forget to click like on the video if you enjoyed it or you found value in it. Don't forget to be, mindful with your own spending if that's a goal of yours so that you can really hone in on the thing you really, really want. And subscribe if you're new here. Don't forget
to comment.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Hi.
Say hello.
Hi. Leave a comment. Say hi.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys. Did you just burp?
No, my tummy rumbled. I did something.
It rumbled out of your mouth. That's called a burp.
No, I think it wasn't a burp.
It sounded like it came out of your mouth.
Like a tummy rumble, but
it came out of your mouth.
So it echoed. It acted like a speaker, so you could hear my tummy rumble. I was like.
It was amplified. That's right.
I'm sleepy.
You can do it. It's an easy decision. Okay.
I don't know what
he's doing. Look at,
I don't know what
God, you're completely...
Oh, yeah.
He just came up and went poof and just shed all over you.
Shed all over me.
He has to stay now just to keep the shed hidden.
No, I have a lint roller.
Oh my gosh, hi.
That's a...
Oh my gosh. Pick him up.
Come here, turd muffin.
Turd muffin?
He's my little buddy.
Are you a turd muffin?
Hi, buddy.
So this is what's happening now. If this is a drinking game, everybody would be hammered. Okay. God damn it, I can't stop. No.
Hi, buddy.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
God damn it. There's another word.
Okay, whoa. Okay, so every time you hear an okay,
but
you have to take a shot.
But you
and
just
every time she does it and realizes that she's doing it and goes, God damn it, you have to follow it with a beer.
Okay. God damn it. I'm so predictable.
You are incredibly predictable.
What is wrong with you?
You're predictable. I can work with that. You wanted me to wake up.
Oh my gosh.
You wanted me to not be so sleepy. I'm not sleepy
I really would
now.
like you to pay attention to
I am.
I'd like you to pay attention to the actual...
Hi, buddy.
I'd like you to pay attention
I am. I did. I'm okay. Take
to
a
the
shot.
actual...
God damn it. Drink a beer.
I want you to pay attention.
Pause to sober up a little if you need to before you continue.
Okay. God damn it. Why?
Because you're predictable.
Did I do that day to day? Oh no, I have mascara on.
Well, now you have mascara on.
Okay. God. Nope. We're never going to get to continue because
Probably
I
not.
can't stop.
Hi, baby.
Okay. Oh God. No. Deep breaths. That's obviously the way I get myself started again is I always say okay. So then I notice
it. And then you just... And now
it's like a loop. You've created a loop Okay.
Yeah, I told you, you're predictable.
Oh, phew. Okay. Not gonna-
This is going to be an epic blooper. Are you going to leave it in?
This is only bloopers.
This is all blooper.
Okay.
No, we were doing pretty good when I was sleepy, but now that I'm waking up, it's not necessarily working out in your favor. Let us know how hammered you got.